This is crazy! How do you build a real hammam in The Sims 4 when the most important piece doesn't even exist? That iconic heated stone in the center, the heart of every traditional hammam, completely missing. Curious? Excited? I was too, until I figured out how I build the most epic hammam in The Sims. So with that said, let's hop into the build! This build, at least to me, was that kind of build where you can prove that with the creativity you can do anything. Truth to be told, I was really struggling to build this because I had really respect towards building the hammam, traditional Moroccan, Turkish, traditional spa with a heated stone in the middle. And how will you do it in The Sims? You have very limited options. You have like a massage tables where you can get a massage, but this traditional hammam, how it works, how I understood it during the research I did, was that you're on this stone, you're getting the massage, you're getting scrubs, and then afterwards you go, you take a shower, you take a bath, and you get out from there completely renewed, completely full of energy. But how will you do this in The Sims? Where we don't have anything, we have like massage tables, hooray! But that's not really what we were going for here, and I wanted to have this as a part of my resort which I built recently. You can check the video if you haven't seen it here, but that resort is only for Sims to sleep in, to have some activities, but not really to relax as you would in the spa. And I wanted to build a spa that would belong to this resort. That's why I came with this idea. And I was also very much inspired by the architecture which I used to build the resort, and I wanted this to totally seem like it belonged to the resort. So if you will download both lots, they belong to each other. I would place them across each other, how I did also in this build, because I also want to play in it. And then you can spend some time in a resort, and across the street you can go to a spa to have something different, to have some variety, to have some more relaxation in your gameplay. And now we are inside. This is exactly the moment where I'm building it. So I was thinking there is this beautiful table which has a shape of a stone which could be in the middle, and I could totally pass it for the stone in a hammam. So I created the basement underneath, and then I placed there the table and raised it up. You can actually do this with almost anything, and then you can have so much variety in your game. I was also going for more traditional look, right? So you will not see much of the modern parts. However, I think it's modern plenty, even though it looks very traditional. However, I'm not from Turkey, I'm not from Morocco, so if some of you who are watching this are, and I made it completely crazy, feel free to leave a comment and we all can learn from that. However, going back to the build, as a next point, which is traditional definitely for the Morocco, I created a riad. Yeah, I know, there is a roof above, but it's just because if you have a seasons and I would leave it open, then your Sims would have problems if it will start to rain, even though I created it in Oasis Springs, but it might be that it's raining there, so and if it rains, then the Sim would want to run inside or be terrified or whatever, they will be annoying about it. So I wanted to have a roof there, but it still looks like a riad, and how often is really your Sim looking up? In the steam room itself, I wanted to have it as accurate as possible. I was thinking to create maybe a corner rooms, which I made by making the windows smaller because they have this beautiful arch above, and then I raised the platforms. I was not sure what I will place there yet, but you will see it as we will progress with the build. And if I understand the concept correctly, you go to this main steam room where you're getting steamed, you're getting scrubbed, you're getting massage, you're getting clean, and then you go to the next room where you clean yourself from all what you just received. And everywhere on the sides are these sinks which I placed there. They are not really sinks, but I didn't want to use another extra pack, like for example Jungle Adventures, which is exactly what I would need here, because I don't want to have millions of packs in my builds for you to not be able to download them afterwards. But now I moved on to the traditional Moroccan riad. If you don't know what it is, it's basically a house around the garden. Granted, as I said, there is a roof above the garden, but so it is, we are in The Sims and I had to do it. Moving on to the next room, this is the bathroom. This is the room which in my mind is your Sim going to use once he is done with the massages. I know in The Sims, most probably only one person at a time would be able to use this, but again, I wanted to have it as accurate as possible. I already split it men and women because as I understood also the concept of this whole spa is that the man part is separated from the women's part, which honestly I have no problem with this concept. Sounds actually very logical, especially thinking that you are getting massage on this plate directly in the middle, so you are probably half naked. You don't want the other people looking at you, and if it should be other people looking at you, then it should be the same sex as you are. And moving now outside into the gardens, don't pay so much attention to the lounges which I'm placing there, because I scrapped this idea later on. But for now it's there. And if you're questioning from where is the fountain which is there, I found it on the gallery. You can find so many items there what the creators are making. It's insane. I will leave the name link down below in case you want to check other items from this person. Right now you can see me creating an area for the coffee. I was thinking if I'm in a spa and it's a beautiful day, I would really want to go outside. And isn't it beautiful to sit somewhere in your robe and just drink a tea or a coffee or just have some snack? This is usually in the spas, and therefore I also didn't place like a canteen or something because you have this outside. Granted, you need to hire a vendor to be able to purchase something from there, but again, if you want to play it in a real way, if you go to a spa, it very often, if you are two, it very often costs you at least a 50 euros in Europe. So I know the vendor cost 100 simoleons, so it's a little more. However, at least for me, when I'm playing The Sims, I always have so much money, so I don't think 100 simoleons is too much for this experience. Now you can see me also placing a little more greenery inside, since in the last build I don't think I had enough in the garden which I built, so I wanted to have way more. And I created also a greenery above the coffee place just to make it a little more nice. Imagine you're sitting there, there's a shade from the greenery. Beautiful. And upstairs I created a part just for the women to be able to have the same experience as the men. Plus I placed there also these massage chairs which I think your sim can use to have a hand massage, to have a manicure, to have a pedicure, so something on top that the man could not make. And I also made this mosaic picture under it because I didn't want to have the courtyard oasis kit just to build this build, and you can totally make it just with the Life and Death DLC. It has very similar items, as for example the arches, as for example the pillars. I know there is not a mosaic really, which I was really missing there, but again, just to make one build you don't need to have millions of kits. I hate when I see builds where they are using like so much, because as a user, do you really have, if you're not a collector, do you really have all the kits and all the DLCs and all the game packs and I don't know what? Now there is even the makers. I don't have all of them because there is so much duplicity there. So I'm really trying always with every of my build. If you are familiar with my channel, I always try to build very cautiously and very reasonably. Like with all the DLCs and all the packs and all the kits that exist now, you can build gorgeous builds. I'm not saying you cannot, but I think the art is in building when you are very limited. It's the same as with the money. You can buy a million of beautiful things, beautiful items, but can you really buy these beautiful items with the limited budget? I think that's the art, and the same logic applies also here. And it's also so much more fun when you are limited, restricted, then you have to come up with all these creative ideas, which I'm also using here. As for example, placing the wall decoration behind the sink. I've seen this on the reference pictures. I've placed there this wall decoration and behind it I placed a tapete which seemed like a mosaic. I think it looked so beautiful, and that's how much I liked it that I even placed it downstairs to the men's area. Also downstairs you will see the full wall which looks like a mosaic wall. This is no tapete, not in the base game, nowhere actually. I use this as a paintings which I found off the gallery, which I just placed there. This is the moment. But isn't it beautiful? I think it was fitting so nicely. And as I understand, the concept of this spa as well is that this is the full day experience. So when you come there, you're actually sitting there, you're having all these procedures which are there, you're eating snacks, you're just chatting with the friends you came with. I've never been in a place like this, honestly, but from what I've read, it sounds like such a relaxing activity and such a relaxing day. Leave a comment if you visited a place like this. But with that said, we are slowly heading towards the end of the build and the beginning of the tours. Don't forget to subscribe to receive the notification every time that I post. I post every Wednesday and Sunday. I hope you got inspired what to do next during this season or where to go. Make sure to check out my other videos from the playlist I've created. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day and see you next time. Bye bye!